not to be trading. It's cold enough to like light a candle, get a blanket, a special purple one from our prayer warriors, and cuddle up in this little chase lounge with a book and no electronics because it is freezing. It is like 31 degrees, you guys. That is insane. And I'm just not ready for it. I'm just not at all. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Miss Barbara, will you please check our hearts and then we're going to get started.
Yes, I will. And happy Veterans Day to everyone. Fa-
Absolutely.
Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we come before you, Father, thanking you, Lord, for all that you do and continue to do in our lives. We thank you, Lord, for your Holy Spirit that continues to guide us. We thank you, Father, for your blessings. We thank you for your wisdom. We thank you, Lord, just for you, Father, just for you being you, Father, because we know that with you, Lord, all things are possible. We thank you, Lord, for your goodness and for your mercy that endures forever. We thank you, Father, for this session today. We thank you, Lord, for your guidance and your protection. We give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And absolutely, guys, thank you to all the veterans out there who have served, who have given first so we can have all of this. It's that sacrifice is second to none. It's a whole life, whole life. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look. It is not a bank holiday, but it is a holiday. So maybe consider muted trading, possibly. I mean, not guaranteed, but we need to at least factor that in. Uh, the charts are really interesting. In general, it's very bearish. We've got a lot of bearish potential. But I've got a couple of fibs up, and this is kind of messy, but I've got no indicators. But let's talk about it. We've got this huge wave down. And of this huge wave down, we've already retested. We're struggling to get back above that 61% to change the trend, if you will, right? That's where we're stuck, is that 61%. So does that mean we're selling back down? So that's the huge picture. We're sitting there. We've already kind of broke back above the 50, wicked down, came all the way to the 60, and we're still failing to move above. That's relevant because I think that's telling us we still have some more sell side pressure. But wait, there's more. This big leg up, okay, which of course everyone was trying to fade yesterday, huge move to the upside, I'm gonna actually go down a time frame just so we can get a better picture. 50% of this move is here, which happens to line up with the gap, making it a very magnetic target if we're selling. But on this upside, so we've already retraced, that was our 23%. This little move, so this next leg up, we're still again failing to get back above that 61%. We're just failing. So I wanted to look at the measured moves because I think they're super relevant. Now we've got gaps in both directions. We're red technically on the trend at this point, but it just makes it really hard to get short. I go to the daily. I'm gonna have to move this over a little bit so we can actually see some prices. We got 6 10s. So we're filling yet still to make a new low. I, of course, would like to take out this low. That's on the daily. But overall, we're breaking below all of that. We've got to retest to potentially continue down. So back now to the hourly time frame. I bias, which I'm going to do my best not to trade my bias. I like to see us kind of pop up, take out, of course, yesterday's closing price and the overnight gap, if you will, and then give us our decision if we're going to sell down. So that's going to kind of be my smarter sell zone. But remember, we still have imbalances up here. We have actually, I'll turn on my indicators now so we can get all kinds of messy. Messy. Well, what time is it? Well, we just started sinking. Let's put on those fair value gaps for a second. So we're still stuck inside of this one, but we've got quite a few more to the upside. We got a lot of upside pressure technically still. So it's just going to be an interesting day where we could technically go either direction. This is one of those days that would be best for us to take what the market gets you. And sure, you might miss out on the 80-point move, but honestly, we consolidated overnight. We tanked kind of after London. We're still failing to kind of get below this big 1 hour candle that set the trend yesterday. So we'll see. I'm going to go all the way down to the 5 minute. 5 minutes. Another big bearish candle. We've got yesterday's low. We've got yesterday's high. We've got overnight high, well, pre-market high more accurately, and then pre-market low. So right now, I would really have loved to decide of the trend like to be above yesterday's anything, but we're not. We're like right in the middle of yesterday's trading range. We've got overnight mid at 670s. 670s. 6-7. Oh God. Don't judge me if you have any teenage in your life. 6-7 is so stupid. It's so hilarious though. Okay, that we got 670. That's gonna be our overnight mid. It'll kind of let us tap right back up into that VWAP. It'll also align with an imbalance there, fair value gap. Right above that, we've got closing price of 720s yesterday. Let's see what we can get. I'm gonna move this off of my marker because my marker should be not smeared.
T-notes is flying up
T-notes is flying up, so you're bearish on the day.
for sure.
Okay. Even so, if you're looking to get short, are you going to wait until we pull up into any of these areas first?
I'm already in the trade.
Oh, well, yeah, if you're in the overnight trade, cool. But like, my big picture on the day, I still think we're going to come down to these areas. Those would be my targets. But I would want to come up first, like for the right now trade. I want to come up and take out pre-market high, take out, we said 670s for the mid. Like I want to take out some of these levels first before I get too aggressive. How much of a stop are you going to give it if you're still sitting in there now? Or are you going to lock that position and then worst case get back in? Maybe is a better question.
Yeah, kind of like that. So this is an early position, and if it's going the wrong way, I'll get out with a small loss and look for a better position. But what I look for, I was watching the T-note earlier this morning, and it was stalling to go lower on the 1 hour. So when I came to the charts, you have to pay attention to where we are in the price swing. So we're still within a new week opening gap that we broke into from yesterday. So we created a new week opening gap from Friday to Monday, and then we came out of that gap into the previous one. We touched the top of the previous gap and then started coming down. What brought my attention to the sell was when we broke the mean of the opening gap range that we're currently in, and then retested the 1 hour candle that broke the mean and then broke lower. If
Okay.
you really check on the 1 hour, and what I like to do is what the guy calls it, the three Indians. So I basically count three price swings. So if it's three price swings down, I target the third price swing for a retest to go lower.
Nice. Very, very nice. I'm kind of looking for something more like this to where we bounce back up to this area. So yours is a longer term play. I think I love what you're doing. I definitely think it will very likely play out today. But that right now move, I think we've got a little bit of points to the upside. Hold on. Get out of my way. That's 40 points. So potentially 40 points there to the upside. I do have it set to the 5-minute range, so it's not giving us a breakout, entry, if you will.
Yeah.
But we've got, let's delete that, drop this. Even just right now, that's about a 1.5 to 1, giving it the entire range. A little later than maybe coulda, shoulda, woulda been. I gotta make sure I'm all set up and locked for my Ninja Trader to work, hopefully perfectly. But I'm also undersizing, so that undersize is helping me a lot. It's helping a lot. But something along the lines of this. We're on the 2-minute time frame. We got 30 seconds left. See if we can't pop that 40-ish points to the upside. That'll bring us right into the overnight mid, which is the 270, 670s. And depending on how these candles are forming, of course, we can try to take out that overnight gap and then sell down. But let's see. Let's see, let's see. Anybody else have a bias? Because I would like to see something like you come up all the way into here. Just a decent amount of points. That's
Yeah, I'm
cool.
looking for the sell too, but right now I'm not sure it's ready yet. But everything's gonna be determined within this next 15, 30 minutes if we're gonna get it early or if it's gonna play out later. But it's definitely looking like on the bearish side, and obviously the more potential is obviously there on the bearish side as well. So if I was to take a loss, I would definitely like to take one on that side. I took a loss yesterday, going bearish once that around the opening, once that 15-minute candle closed and engulfed, but then it reversed and trended back upward slightly and then stalled out. So yeah,
It really did.
cut it short. I was just too early. It wasn't ready yet.
Yeah, I think I saw that all play out. It was actually, in my opinion, a really clean trading day. I like what this did. So we're on the 2-minute time frame. Our 5-minute range is now formed. Oopsie. So we got our nice little wick to the downside. We're respecting the pivot point to the downside. We've got 9 minutes left on this 15-minute candle. It's bounced back into that fair value gap, that imbalance, if you will. 1.5 to 1 is going to put us right at that yesterday mid-ish. Put it there. Let's give this a second and see what this does. I thought it was going to be a more muted open, but I guess if it's not a bank holiday, no one really. The schools are closed, like everything else is closed. Your doctor's office. I also just think on the hourly time frame, we're rejecting off that 61%. So I think for us to get the move to the downside, I think we're going to need a good 40, 90 points to the upside. So let's see. If I'm taking this as a scalp. You're locking it within 10, 20 points. I do have some settings that are a little looser, hopefully conducive to New York. Not like in the indecision. If I zoom in a little bit, make these candles a little bigger. I love the wicks to the downside. That was smooth, beautiful. But now we're not getting that follow through. We're not getting that super aggressive extension. We're just kind of, there we go. Now we're getting some candles that look like they have somewhere to be. Walk with a purpose. Nope, I lied. It's got to close that way. And right now we just don't have any candles that are moving with purpose. Wicked up, wicked up. That was the move. That was 11. That's 20 points right there. So we're still inside the 5-minute range, but we've got our kind of come up here, retest, and then there you go. Now we're breaking out. I'm going to enter my position. It should have, nope, did not mirror. So it's just 2 micros. I really want to see this play out properly. Unfortunately, this is not mirroring properly. So don't have a whole, matrix to show you, but it is what it is. Plus, we're already getting a wick and we're bouncing up that VWAP, so I have no need to re-enter. If I have to lose on this one account, I'm okay with that. This is 30 points. 41, 61, that's 30 points. I could give it 10 more if it didn't just reset on me, but it did. It's just reliving. Oh, it knocked me out before I couldn't even try to adjust that stop loss to move a little lower and give it that much room. But that's one account that's down $123. 2 micros, 30 points. Don't ask me why I didn't mirror. I have no idea.
That's a beautiful thing though with those micros. You can sustain, those losses.
Yes, it feels different too, closing a trade that is okay. Look, when you close a trade, let's say 100, 200, even up to $300, it doesn't feel so heavy to try to make it back up. You're like, okay, one trade and I'm either a break even or I'm there, that feels more peaceful. That peaceful kind of trading mentality. And somebody had asked me that the other day is, let's talk about peaceful trading. I think prop firms don't really promote peaceful trading in the way that I would want them, the way I want it to feel. It's not as peaceful as it was in other industries because everything feels like you're stuck on this decision or this decision. But if you're in micros and you just let the trade play out, which is hard because let's say you did take 120 or whatever, a 30-point loss, whatever that equals on your account size, that next trade, you've got to let it play out per your strategy, per your rules. If you want it to, work on the model that you have, the statistics and the stats that you're going off of. Because now, if you took that first loss and then that second loss, you're like, hey, crap, let me at least lock this to be back to break even, which I understand why we do that for prop firms. But that's, I think, a bad recipe made mathematically to get to your end goal. So I know why we do it, but I don't think maybe we should be doing it. So I don't know.
100%. I mean, even I recognize it like periodically each month because I have my play accounts that sometimes I'll use like higher leverage or whatever, like maybe with a different prop firm. And like 7 times out of 10, I usually like blow those accounts, especially if I don't get like the first few trades to go into my favor. And just using that bigger lot size, whether it be a mini or like 7, 8 micros or whatever, compared to my other accounts where the management is just more defined. But anyways, I digress. It looked like we might be having to move here. So
No. Yeah, I saw that wick down all kinds of aggressively. Look at that. It was a nice pop, like it was an aggressive pop down, but didn't really follow through. I'm watching, I'm waiting patiently.
yeah,
Um,
5 minutes to the close of the 15, and then another 15 minutes to go from there, or 20 minutes from now for that 4 hour to close, an hour to close.
that this is where I'm sitting, guys. So nothing much. These are trades I took overnight, just to flip that account. And otherwise, those trades didn't mirror. They're doing nothing. That was an aggressive pop. It looked like trying to trap some sellers because see how that popped down, like especially on Tradebait, it was like looked like a tank, but we didn't stay there. We came right back up. So we wait. I really wanted a bit more of a buy before I got too sell side heavy.
Another thing I noticed too is with larger size, you tend to gravitate towards the lower time frames as well. And there's a lot of BS candles, for lack of a better term, that you'll get in those, especially if it's not like a trendy day. The price action is horrible on like a 1 minute, sometimes 2 minute.
Yes, 100%. Like, and I'm trying to trust my 5-minute model, and I'm referencing it a lot because, and that's one of the things about micros is I can afford the 30, 50 points. Now my brain is not happy with seeing 50 points because I already know like this industry is not going to give me time necessarily to play it out the way I want it to. But I know on the 5-minute, for the most part, yes, again, sometimes you're going to get chopped up, but for the most part, you've got this clean kind of situation where you can just see everything. There we go. We're breaking out of the 5-minute to the downside. But remember, I think it's better to be a little patient because we've got that overnight low here, which is technically that's 20 points. So we're breaking out of that 5-minute range, but we broke out of it here too. So still chop. Took a 30-point loss here. Luckily on one account, I did show you. I didn't plan it that way. Would have been on all the accounts. It just sometimes it works against you, sometimes it's in your favor. It does happen. It doesn't feel like everything happens in it, like the things that go wrong are in your favor, but if we're all being a little honest, sometimes they are in your favor.
And see, this is where it gets people like when you're on a 1 minute, you get that, you think that's a breakout, then it pop back to a doji on a 1 hour, 30 minute. So
And
depending if you had a tight stop loss and how many minis you're using, you had to get out of that trade.
look at this on the 1 hour, guys. Let me take all this off. I definitely think we've got some more bearish. I just wanted a bit of a pullback. So remember, this is that 61% of this move, and we've failed. So we've got a healthy retracement here. We've got a gap looming here, 50% of this move here, but this is 61%. And if we're rejecting off of this, I would want to at least come back up to those 70s, possibly even 715s at some point before we come down. Doesn't mean we're going to get it because we've got 15 minutes left on this candle and it's pretty clear to be bearish. But in the next 15 minutes, maybe we pop up. That's 40 points. Kind of pop up on that next candle, form that wick. We'll see. But right now, we're still literally in the pre-market range. We have not taken out pre-market high or pre-market low, which is a good reason to be flat. There's pre-market high. And we're like almost dead smack in the middle of it too. Just no direction yet. Scott, there's no setup yet on ES either. We're just chopping around. Or has
Just
there-
chopping around.
I've been looking at it a lot. I like the concept of, I mean, Scarface and the SMC people, they talk about it differently. And again, I'm kind of on a YouTube fast, so I'm trying not to go deep dive into it, but Scarface talked a lot about the extension, right? We want the extension. I get that. And the way this guy, this SMC guy talks about it, for kind of going for that fair value gap, again, it's the same concept. It's just kind of worded differently, and one has more ICT concepts. But either way, it's you want the extension. And their management styles are a little different, but I think they're very comparable.
Yeah, looking for conviction, really. And I'm seeing no conviction from buyers or sellers right now. This feels very random.
Same. I did try the long. I think I had enough reason. We bounced off. We had JGS. We broke out. Took a 30-point hit, but we're still not only in the 5-minute range, guys. We're also in between pre-market high and pre-market low. Big picture, I am bearish, but I want the pullback before I take the bears, before I take that direction. Let's see what we got.
Maybe it's waiting for the tariff stimulus checks to print out.
Is that what's going on?
I heard that Scott Bessent said that $2,000 might be a tax refund, not a check.
Oh, really?
Yeah, tax cut, not a check.
So wait, everyone's getting $2,000, or just the people who don't make a lot, or what's this about?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would affect, if you're not filing taxes or not paying $2,000 in taxes, then I don't know what that means, but it's rather than doing it as a stimulus check, doing it as a tax cut, but that's a might be by the is he the Treasury Secretary? I think he's the Treasury Secretary.
I did try to learn a little. Okay. I did try to pay attention a little bit of the news, but the Republicans hate the Democrats and the Democrats hate the Republicans. Both of them are like, if the Republicans would just do this, and the other ones are like, listen, actually, we're on board, we just don't want to pay for the immigrants. And the other ones are like, it's all their fault. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Have you noticed how that tension that you see politically and being televised has bled into regular civilians and family and all of that? Like, please, like, guys, do not talk politics with your with your family. Like, it's so tense right now that like people are literally like coming for people's jugglers off of politics. It's actually insane.
They are. I stopped responding, Jonathan. I couldn't. I have a
Yeah.
good friend okay, since no one knows anything about them, but they make, a hefty amount, a little less than 300 a year. That's not bad. Okay. I don't care where you're from, but in this area, that's not bad. Okay. They are furloughed right now, so they're not getting their pay. Now, granted, when they go back to work, they're going to get that pay back, in all fairness. I just feel like if you're making 300,000, you should be able to survive a month or two. And I'm not trying to be Miss Righteous over here. I'm just saying at some point I am a big believer in those who are trusted with little will be trusted with much. And
Mhm.
I just that's my perception. So and then of course people are defensive of, oh my God. Well, if once you have more money, you get more bills. I get it. I've done it myself. I've been 100% guilty. But these are the same people who are like, these effing Republicans. I'm like, I have nothing to say right now.
Oh yeah, as soon as they start with that, yeah, I don't even engage. Like that's somebody that's definitely very emotional, feels a type of way. So I know that there's no dialogue that can go that's constructive or anything like that. And it'll only take a slight like word or phrase the wrong way to trigger somebody.
It is so true. So,
There
so true.
there it goes. Let's see. This looks like a move
We
if
got
it
35
closes.
seconds. Yeah, it's got to close. And she's trying. We're late to the party, but if we want that short, 83s to 71s, that's 10 points. But mind you, the larger targets are 150 points away. And then as far as, gosh, I don't think I'll get it on the 1 minute, but oh, there it is. 300 points away. So there's potential, a lot of potential.
Yeah, I'm in it. I'm gonna manage on the 30-minute on this one. Um, where I have my stop loss?
Let's see.
I think it's gonna be like about 90 points. Yeah, it's about a 90.2 1 micro actually. I'm saying 2 micros because that always confused me when you're copy trading.
Oh yeah, it does. Let's see. We got the wick to the downside. No follow through again. We wicked into pre-market low, but just come on, I need you to follow through. We formed that first imbalance outside of the opening range. This is the 5 minute range. It's just I'm taking this as a short. I'm in. Please not mirror properly. Hold on. And it did not. That's fantastic. Why not? Okay. A minute on one account again. So the other accounts just said no today. I'm gonna have to reboot my Ninja Trader. Let's go to save my workspace, save everything. I do my best to save everything because it is a pain in the butt, but it's still honestly less work than some of the online platforms. I was astonished with how much work some of that is. It's a lot of hours. Okay, so I've saved it all. Now I'm gonna quit it and have to restart it. One account. We're doing it. Only on the Apex account too, which is not the account that I'm really caring that much about. But that's fine. It's fine. Let's see. Yesterday was a smooth trade. Like I created some new settings for the micros. I'll have to show them on screen. I like them a lot. I think I created that whole worksheet saying, hey, look, you'll need a couple $100 a day. And then let me be honest, I have not been living like that. So I created the plan and then I was like, good plan. But no. So that's what happened with me. And I'm trying to kind of scale back a little and just say, hey, the funding ticks accounts, I have a couple of them that you can only withdraw $1,000 anyways. So what's the purpose of making more? All I really need to do is have 5 red days and I can take 5 green days and I can take a payout, $1,000 every week. Well, it kind of doesn't equal every week, it's a little bit less. And it's simple. Do that on a couple of accounts, that's 15 grand a month. And those are very inexpensive accounts. It's a lot to learn. The learning curve, I think, from all these different firms is a lot because one of them does their end of drawdown differently. One of them closes at 450. One of them has news and doesn't have news. One of them does this and that. But funded next, very smooth. I like it. Funding ticks, take profit trader, Blue Guardian. I really think I'm sticking to that until my automation is done, and then I'm gonna use automation to get a 7-figure payout with Apex, because I can't stand their rules. They're just a lot. It's a lot. You guys do know we've had people inside of our community pass a prop firm using nothing but hands-free software. That is huge. So is it perfect? Absolutely not. We had a meeting with the developers yesterday. Again, we're still going to primarily focus on Ninja and Meta, mostly because some things just, they don't translate well. They just don't communicate at all. I don't know why. It just doesn't go through the third-party service quick enough or effectively enough or accurately enough. But either way, again, I've never been the girl who promotes perfection. I've never been that person. I'm like, hey, what can we accomplish in the real world, period? Because that's where people get in trouble. That's why they keep buying all these $5,000-$10,000 scams, is they're always looking for the pie in the sky. So we've had people pass with automation, so I cannot wait till they get their first payout. I'm very hopeful, but let's be honest, Apex is hard. So I'm hoping, actually I need to message them and see if they can put a daily profit target a little tighter, so it's knocking you out more days more easily. But anyways, we've also had a lot of people with Dragonfly doing exceptionally well. So some of the people inside of our Dragonfly chat, like, they're just doing it hands-free. They touch it once, twice a month, and that's it. Like, they've got the hang of it. Some of the people that were in the main chats asking a bajillion questions, they have now become an asset in that Dragonfly chat. So thank you to Hub and Anna and Sam and Robert and Master C, William. There's so many of you guys that are just phenomenal. Joe, of course, running the thing, going nowhere. We've got my first entry that I got stopped out at. Here, I'll show you. My first entry I got stopped out at. And then my second entry. And this is only one count, so it is what it is. It is what it is. But we're doing it. It's a little small baby community, but it's growing and people are doing it. I'm so excited. Very, very excited for everyone. Right back in a drawdown. I still think they're gonna make us pop up before they give us the sell. 4 minutes left on the hourly candle.
Yeah, they could. It's one of those things with NASDAQ, though. You try to get in there before you miss it, because sometimes you don't pull the trigger, it can leave without you.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I loosened up my my management. So this is 71s to 60. This would have got me out of one contract, just this one move to the downside. But since I didn't get out of that one either. So I'm going to go to manually close this. I don't love the way this hourly. I think we're going to pull up. We just swept the lows. Okay. That's our 10 a.m. potential reversal coming in. We just swept that. Could I give it more room? Technically, yeah, but there's just not a really big enough reason. Hold on before I decide. Yeah, she's not it. 2 minutes left on the candle. And well, it knocked me out anyway before I could move it, so she's just not it. Right back up there.
Yeah. Well,
Right back up there, guys. No bueno.
it's the foolery. Complete trap.
I know, but I knew I didn't want to sell. Like, so this, I can take this one digestible because I knew what I was looking for on the day, lined up with my rules. And it's not that this one didn't go with my rules, but this one I would classify as I was chasing, because I know I want a retest before I get this sell down. And I knew I wanted that. And doesn't mean I'm always going to get it. So we're 2 for 2 today, guys. We're killing it. Let's go. Let's be super cool.
Well, in actuality, though, it's just not going anywhere. That's just what it is. Like right now, like, let's see if it does give that momentum, but the way that it's set to close on this 30-minute, it's still at a standstill technically.
It's going nowhere. 15-minute wick to the downside. I think we swept liquidity. So I think we've swept that liquidity. We've taken out pre-market low. 1 minute time frame. We want that retest. We've got our first bearish. I know this is going to be the third and most ugly of all the entries. We've got 2 minutes left on this candle. I want this move.
Looking at the hourly volume, it's very low today. For the previous 3 days into today, it's been reducing volume every day.
Yeah. You would have thought like, oh, I guess no news Monday, so nothing really happened on Monday, and then we had this holiday that happened to fall on a freaking Tuesday.
I was expecting a little bit more reaction on Monday just because the Senate passed an agreement for the shutdown, the funding agreement.
Me
Right.
too.
And that's getting passed on. Congress should be voting on it. The legislature should be voting on it tomorrow.
So maybe they're waiting on that.
It's possible. It's also possible that the banks aren't trading, so the volume is just low.
Maybe we get the bigger reaction on Wednesday, tomorrow.
Possibly, yeah.
You guys, I got one more trade in me. That's all I got. Hopefully it's a winner. I'm not in this yet. I do have this marked up, so I've taken the 2. Fortunately, only on one account. I did reboot my Ninja. No, it is not working. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Don't know why. But I'm waiting for this to kind of give us that confirmation. So we're still below the VWAP. We're still by all means technically in the bearish side, but we swept liquidity. We want to come, technically we have, this is a whole strategy. What is it? The ICT or unicorn? I don't even remember. It's one of those strategies. You swept liquidity, you had to break a structure, you want to come and validate this, and you're longing. The whole strategy all by itself right there. Either way, for me, JGS is setting up. We are below the VWAP. I want the retest to kind of confirm. And I'll try this long if it sets up. If not, I'm probably still not going to be interested in the shorts without the pullback. Especially with how the 15 looks. Look at the 15. As I look over to the right. Look at that. I mean, yeah, we've got the wick to the upside. But this wick didn't do anything. This upside wick didn't take anything. This one did.
It still didn't make a higher high though.
We did make a lower low here. So let's see. And be patient. I'm looking for a long, preferably. I just need a bit of more of a pullback. We are rejecting a perfect little bounce off the VWAP trade right there. I would like to take it up to this area. 770s unlocked. Sorry, 670s unlocked. And then take it all the way up to the gap. Because before we move another, whatever that is, like 300-400 points to the downside, I don't know if we're going to leave this kind of oomph up here. Let's see what we get. Redonkulous, just a choppy day. Nor do I want to mess up any of my funded accounts. So I guess it's really good that it didn't mirror twice. Because that main account that I'm trading off of is down 313, which down 313, I'd probably be done for the day. Just trying to kind of balance it all out.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little annoyed how that 1 hour candle closed. I'm not gonna lie.
He's like, I'm kind of annoyed with it. I was annoyed with the 8 a.m. candle. I was looking for the 8 a.m. candle to kind of give us more to fill the rest of that imbalance on the hourly. It didn't, nor did it go up any higher. So like, it gave us nothing. The 8 a.m. candle and the 9 a.m. candle was stupid. He's like, I'm not gonna lie, that candle annoys me. Hey, look, I feel like with our job, we're allowed to be annoyed with some of these candles.
Right, exactly.
Ridiculous. Let's see. We're still, I don't like how this candle, we're bearish, but this is a doji. Remember, this is 61% and we swept liquidity. But we're holding below the VWAP. The point of control is just nothing but a consolidation chop fest. We're just chopping, and we've really been chopping at this price since 4 a.m. All right, what are you guys looking at? Anybody looking at anything that I'm not? Because NQ is actually down more on the day than ES. We've got a little bit more upside. Actually, this move, Scott, is still valid, isn't it?
Yeah, the break up is still valid.
Not for long.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, look, we got some potential. No, it was like, no. Golly, guys. YM is just sitting in the range. NQ. This is where playing the range needs to be a skill set I have. I don't have it though. I honestly don't. Because you can say, hey, this bullish candle got above this doji, you're going to buy up for a scalp 10 points, 10 points. You can say this bearish candle closed below this one, but that's, to me, that's gambling. Like, unless you have a true skill set, and I'm sure some people do, I simply do not have that range trading skill set. Here we go again, moving to the downside.
Yeah, I'm done for the day.
I got 2 losses. I have room for one more trade. Especially given the fact that for whatever reason, and no, I didn't plan it that way. It just simply didn't mirror properly. This is where I'm sitting at on the day. This is the 2 trades I took. I don't know why it says 4 because both of them were 2 contracts, but these are trades from last night. So on the day, this is all I've got, and we're selling down again. But we're still in the chop. I know we're selling, but we're not confirmed.
I'm waiting for the closure, and then I might get back again, but
I don't like it, guys. I don't like it on the 15. It might mean I miss it with my bias being in the way, but this is what the 15 looks like. We've got 8 minutes left on this candle, so assuming we wick down to pull up. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm not in love with this.
Yeah, it's a risky play because when we went up yesterday on the 1 hour, we created a
gotta be
bullish fair value gap. So once we break that bullish fair value gap to the downside, I think that would be a more confirmed move for a retest because what they call it, inverted fair value gap, because that's what happened yesterday. Yesterday we traded up into a bearish fair value gap and broke it, and then at 9:30 came back, retested it, and then went higher. So since we created a bullish fair value gap on the run up, if we break this area here where it's stalling, I think it's gonna fall hard.
Well, I missed that entry. That was like it just shot down. But there's that bullish fair value gap.
That's
Magic.
exactly what we were looking for. It literally just wicked us out at the end of that candle and went exactly where we wanted, we were targeting.
Yep, I did.
That's dirty. Oh, that's dirty work. Oh my gosh.
Some days we in all fairness, I try to keep a little bit rational in the fact that we've had some smooth days that were just like, hey, look how clean this is. Now, granted, I'm not going to fib and say I was on the ride for all of those, but some of them were just so clean. So learning to accept these days, because this is crap. Our 8 a.m. didn't give us anything. I was really hoping 8 a.m. was going to come finish that. 9 a.m. gave us nothing. We took out that hour last candle high. And then now we've got 51 minutes left. Still, with how bearish this is, I don't know. It's hard for me to want to get short right here. For a 10-point scalp, sure, but not for the big picture. I know my bias is kicking my butt.
No, but I believe what Magic said is key. Just watching that, and yeah, depending on how that closed, then we could get some of that push that we're looking for. I don't, I'm not sure how deep it will go, provided that, the news that we're waiting for tomorrow to see if everything passes, and also this being the holiday. But I think you can definitely get a few targets if this does show some conviction. But right now, it's pulling right back into that
Yep.
point where it's been consolidating back and forth. Just, oh my gosh.
I mean, if I had my settings set to get you out at 10 points, any one of those moves would have been great. But look at this on the hourly. Like, I think Magic and you are right. We've got to close below here. We've got to close below the 530s for me to be super concrete. Otherwise, we're just, I mean, and it didn't even give you a chance. Like, I think it just apparated right there. It was like pink.
It's like,
Also, something to note on the 10-year T note on barchart.com. If you see on the 1 hour a massive candle, you need a direction. And I try to time when the move is gonna happen. So what I realized based on back testing and a little research, once you see a massive candle on the 1 hour, that's breaking structure. And you look at the time, so the massive candle that took place this morning on barchart.com, it shows at 7 a.m. I try to
Wait, it shows at 7 a.m. Look at my screen real quick. This is the T note on that sucker's going right back up. Stupid head. Sorry. Okay, anyways, squirrel. Look at the 7 a.m. here. This is not like our massive candle is at 8 a.m. And look at this 8 a.m. candle. That is wild.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of threw me off the first time when I started to study the T note on barchart.com. But then what I realized is any massive move on the 1 hour, the time that it happens, you count anything between 2 to 3 hours and pay attention to that time frame, that time range, 2 to 3 hours after the candle was formed on barchart.com. And it usually gives you an indication of where price is gonna go.
That
So
one.
that's why when I saw this show up at 7 a.m., I'm like, it's possible that we're gonna sell at 9:30.
I was gonna say that lines up with my theory that we got to pull up before we sell down. Meaning sometime later on today we're gonna get that sell down. But either way, guys, we have it's a chop fest. We have shot up, shot down, and literally accomplished nothing. We are still below the VWAP. We're making lower lows. Like, so if we take all of our thoughts and theories and levels out, we're below the VWAP, we're below the 50, we're making lower lows, period. So we take all the ICT, swept liquidities out, we take all the Fibonacci, out, take it all out, we're making lower lows.
And by the way, back to the old Ricky strategy, the 4 hour 9 is running right through here.
So as a bounce to buy,
Yeah, bounce to buy.
that would have to be a bounce to buy. Yeah. Look at that. Ugh. All right, I'm gonna hang out for a few more minutes and see. I'm probably not taking another trade. Again, I'm only down on one account. It is an Apex account, so not the end of the world. I dislike trading on Apex because when I right click on Apex to put like a sell stop or a buy stop, it drops the other one in reverse and then they both disappear properly. I don't know how I set that up on other ones. I've Googled it, but that only works on Apex for some reason. I can't get it to work on any of the other Trade8 logins, only on Apex. So if I'm in a sell and I don't have my management on, I can right click my buy limit and my buy limit my buy limit up here and it will automatically drop the other one in the same range and you can move them. They both delete beautifully. So still nothing. The 5 minutes got a nice wick to the downside. Shot down, shot right back up. And we're shooting down again. $15-minute. Miss Barbara, I know you're trading. I know you're. What are you? What are you looking at today? Are you going to trade today?
It's kind of choppy to me today. I can't tell what it's doing, so I'm just watching. And I don't know if because maybe people think it's a holiday. I don't know. Just kind
I
of.
wish I just watched.
Hey,
Yeah, I can't tell what it's doing. So when I can't tell, I just kind of sit by and watch. I can't tell.
I was wondering if your model was going to give you the buy or the sell.
No, I usually kind of look at the Asian range and the London range, and right now it's just ranging. That's all it's doing.
Well, look at the two and decided it's still doing that. So that's where we're at. That's it, guys. We're still pushing down. I'm going to concrete hold that I'm not going to sell until we get a pullback, just because the sell pops are happening too fast. They're just coming in too hot, too quick, and not even enough time unless I'm targeting 10 points. Like if I was on a mini taking 10 points, I'd probably have made, profit on the accounts, but I'm not there. I wasn't doing it. It was next 15-minute candles formed. If this pulls down first, maybe we do come back up to close as a bullish 15-minute candle, which we are pulling down first. It's ugly though.
Maybe regret this, but I'm already in on the 15-minute.
I can't with you, Jonathan. I'm not in.
What you're doing is probably the right thing, but it says it's my entry, so I'm taking my entry.
You got to follow your model. You got to.
What I see is that basically, even though through all this foolishness and foolery, it still hasn't made any new higher highs, and it's respected those levels, even though it's continually gone back to those levels. So it's either gonna get that push up and retest maybe that Asian high if I'm wrong, or it's gonna go down and we're gonna get some of our targets and maybe potentially fill that gap. I would be surprised about that, but um, there should be potential for at least a 2 to 1 on this. Now, so it is what it is. I'm just gonna hold this to the end of the day, and I think that London high is gonna be my stop loss on this.
The overnight high way up
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mm-hmm. Not
That's
the Asian high, but the London.
yeah, London's over here. 680s.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. That's about right.
God, that's 130 points.
$200 on one micro.
I was gonna say if I tried this, I would probably take it as a micro so I can give it room to breathe because this just kept wicking around.
Already down about $90 for the day from that first one that I'm still annoyed with. But anyway.
He's like, I'm still annoyed with these dang candles. There's a lot of short potential. We like the bearish candles. I'm definitely wanting a bit more of a pull. We're not getting a lot of follow through. We've got here, we're breaking now. Now we're starting to get some follow through. It's 1017. That was a better entry than we got here. And she's going. And she's definitely going without me, so. Just choppy. Doesn't.
This will be one, like if we get off the call and everything, I'm just gonna fold it and then I'll come at the end of the day. I might just stop it out or I won something. I don't know.
Or you're gonna post how annoyed you are with the candles. Did you
Exactly.
see those candles today? They were stupid. That's what it's gonna be like. I fortunately am not gonna be on my screen. I'm trying to get back to the whole not looking at my computer on the weekends. not touching my laptops at night, because this is I've never really considered myself to have an addictive personality. There's no reason for me to open up a laptop at night. There's no reason for me to walk into my office in the evenings. There's literally just no reason. Especially like you're done on the day, you're green on the day. So I'm trying to say, hey, this was my trade session. I did great or I did not. And that was it, and not take any other trades. Like I am making a small exception for like if I'm available for power hour or just flipping that one account where I'm, hey, I just need to get the day. Like funding ticks requires days, take profit requires days, funded next technically requires days. Actually, they all require days. Then I'll do what I gotta do, otherwise no. But that was a great trade. You guys are in it. I'm not. We did try it, but got stopped out.
This is a perfect example to like how much the markets can mentally mess with you. Because if you are over leverage on these and you took like big losses, one, like both the option that you took, because what you did necessarily isn't a wrong thing, Jenny. You know, that's actually a really good thing to follow that. Even though you're not in the trade, you're not FOMOing into the trade to try and get it now that it's going in the direction that, we were anticipating or waiting for. The fact that you used the right lot sizing so you could sustain, you took two losses, but your accounts are still intact. And then no, we all know what you do. So, or overnight or whatever, or tomorrow you can make that back end some easily. So it's just sustaining those and knowing when to call it quits, or even if it's not calling it quits, and when your model shows itself, as long as you didn't over leverage and you have more gun bullets in the chamber, you can take that other shot. And then if you're wrong again, then you just get out, or you take the approach like Barbara did, and if it doesn't make sense to you, then don't take a trade, because what do we say? No position is a position. It's still cash in your hand that you didn't put on the line. So there's multiple ways of being disciplined and to come at it, and to have that longevity. So I just hope everybody stays key to that.
That 100%. We're bouncing off another area, guys, that bottom. Yeah, I'm focusing more on my live accounts lately, to be transparent, guys. Once I uploaded a couple accounts to TradeZella and I saw the difference, I was like, oh, okay. I know you know it, but you don't really know it until you see it. Upload a couple of your accounts to some of the same tracking software, and you'll realize that it's not just the $100 that these challenges cost. It's also the fact that now you've blown, let's just say $6,000 that you did make. Whereas, like if that was my live account, I didn't blow the 6,000. So even if I had the treacherous day, which in general for my live money, I don't do that a lot. I'm down whatever, 1,000 or two, which is a lot in all fairness, but I didn't lose everything. Whereas on the prop side, I lost everything. Like that last Monday, it was a bad decision day. Like it was a horrible decision day, but it wouldn't have been the same if it was just my live money. It would have been a completely different scenario. So I'm focusing a lot on my live accounts. I'm very happy about it. I am scaling down in terms of some of my profit targets. There's no sense in making, several $1,000s a day for consistency rules, for payout levels, when that's not my objective anyways. The only place I want to do that for is Apex, and that's because I want the 7-figure payout. I want to prove that it can be done. 6, 7, I'll take either. Okay, 6, 7, both of them. But that's my big objective. I do think I'm probably going to lean toward automation for that, because it's a strategy I can write, they can define. They don't have to question, because I'm not sure if you guys have used that part on Apex where you have to write your strategy in. But it's concrete, it's clear. There's no exception. That's the benefit of automation, to say this is what I'm doing, here's how I'm doing it, here's how I'm managing it, and the executions are going to line up within 90% of that, like, and totally duplicatable. So the shorts tried again. Just looking at what I could have, should have, would have done better, and then I'm gonna hop off. If I wanted to buy this, I should have been buying it here, like JGS style. But granted, I didn't have that same level of conviction. So here, by the time this candle closed, and this is the 2-minute time frame, just buy it up. That right there is 13s, so that's 30 points. Okay, that entering a little bit sooner on that long, because then if you're wrong, you've got at least partially scaled out, or you've locked profit, right? So to me, the best thing I could have done is follow the JGS model rather than the breakout. Would have been a better play. As for the downside, kind of same thing, and I love kind of going through my good and bad trades. If I wanted to short this, I know we waited for the conviction and for this extension candle, right? It also formed a fair value gap. The multiple strategies in play here. But the truth is, the better short would have been we closed bearish here below our JGS. Our down here, we've got our oscillator saying that we're bearish. You can enter right here. So again, that's 607s all the way down to 61s. And that's 40, 50 points. So just getting in sooner means I have more time to be right and less to worry about if I'm wrong. So that's kind of my takeaway. The sellers are still not following through. Hourly candle's got 35 minutes left and we're already forming a wick. I do think big picture on the, and that's just crappy. Crap best today.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna set and forget because this is if it does this the whole day, this is gonna fatigue me out. This is really mental fatigue right here. Like
And Jonathan, you brought it up well, and I know that the one young lady, the one beautiful lady gets the credit for it, but no position is a position. Learning that I don't have to have a trade on the books every day. So if it's a crappy day, like Scott, I would rather have been a Barbara than be I wish I didn't take a position today versus I didn't take a trade today versus wishing I didn't take a trade today. So if I have to choose one, I'd rather, but it's hard to do. It's so hard. Very, very hard.
yeah, absolutely. What makes it even more difficult too is that like if you have like 2 days back to back where nothing's going, the natural like instinct is like you're wanting to get that dopamine fix for there has to be a move. I need something, to happen. That doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna happen until the market says it's gonna happen.
Let's pull this up and then we're hopping off. Hold on, I'm going to pull up this because I've been trying to do my best to look at this a little bit, and then I'll pull up the Monte Carlo as well. So let me get a better view so it's not all janky for you guys. Shrink that up a little bit. Here we go, right back up. If I am only making $200 or $300 a day, and with all due respect, I've got more than 5 accounts at any given time, but assuming 5 accounts, even if, so remember the 80% is figuring a 60% win rate, okay? Which means 2 days are not it. Actually, no, that's considering an 80% win rate. This one's considering a 60% win rate. Sorry. That means you can skip 2 to 3 days, using this blue or white model, and that is still not a bad way to be. I know that's only 34,000. That's only 100,000, but that is in a couple of minutes. So just something to look at. $300 a day, assuming you did $300 every single day, 20 trading days a month. That's $250,000 a year. That's only $300. Assuming that you did that 80% of the time, which means you lost 1 day and you won 4 days. So 2 of them kind of cancel each other out. So it's kind of worth 3. Assuming you only took 3 trading days and hit your target, that means you took the other 2 off. Okay, that's not bad. If you took 5 trading days and lost 60, so 2 of them canceled, 2 of them out, you only took 1 trading day a week. This is basically the equivalent of one $300 day a week. That's 52,000 a year. That is not bad for part-time money. And that's only on 5 accounts. No, most of us have more than 5 accounts. Too many of us do. I know I'm a problem. And this looks sexy and all, but if you're giving it all back, it's not really worth the darn. It's not worth anything. 750, 500, so something to look at. I was looking at it again the other day going, look, I don't need that much. Especially because funding ticks doesn't move you up to the other account until you've got $100,000 in profit. And if you blow before then, you're still kind of taking a slightly lower percentage. You're taking smaller payments. It's not worth it per se. And remember, $100,000 is a 300% gain on well, technically it's 200% gain on investment. So return
That's a
on.
slow compound effect on those accounts and just gradually growing them. And I think someone had even did that approach. God, I don't even know the name of the person, but I know somebody on Take Profit like took like one of the biggest like payouts, like over 500,000, like multiple like times, like at least 2 or 3 times, like somewhere in that 300, 400, 500 K. So like they were like at like 1.4 million or something like that in payouts like over the course of like the last like month and a half. And they just really had a slow approach. Just, they have all their accounts maxed out and just growing it. Those few $100 a day. $1,000 here, $1,000 there, and then ultimately that compounded.
100%. Wait, how much of a payout did they take in the last month? Or
It was like it was like a total of like 1.4, 1. Oh, it's the name of the trader was Lato or something like that. Lato.
that's not bad at all. 1.1
Yeah.
money is not bad.
I know two of them there's two of them they do their you've probably seen them. I think they're younger guys. They do their little stuff. I think they trade like the afternoon session. They'll have a stream. But both of them like they trade. So one of them I know definitely trades some form of ICT, and they're looking for short plays. But they'll use like minis, but minimum risk. So put in like maybe 100 on the line, just trying to get a couple $100. But they got a lot of accounts allocated and all of that, and just have compounded that over time. But this one specific person only specifically used he's just counting his payouts from this take profit and got that, but it took a while. Like he's had that account standing for quite a bit.
That's my goals. I want Operation Don't Lose an Account because you guys can see on TradeZilla, like I'm doing remarkably good, like internet, woohoo, YouTube guru good. Having said that, I'm also transparent enough to say that one red day that's 20,000 knocked out a lot of funded accounts, like a lot of them, because it just hit the trailing drawdown, the end of day, the trailing, the intraday, whatever, whichever one, and it just made it to where it wasn't okay. So I was able to save a couple of those, but for the most part that blew all the funded accounts, even though it wasn't remarkably different than the other P&L. It was just enough to set me over the buffer that cost whatever, especially if they had already taken a payout, they don't have the same buffer. If they hadn't taken a payout, how much of a buffer they had. So I think to me, holding the account longer, one thing I'll tell you guys I'm considering is not like, so let's say you get your take profit account instead of just, well, I'm not going to use take profit because that's the one that's, you can go make a bunch of money and get a payout today. But let's just say funding ticks like funding next. Instead of trying to get the whole 500, 800, $1,000 a day, those first 3 to 5 days that you need to get the payout, I think I'm just going to flip the accounts for $50, $100, couple $100. And once I'm past the day period, then I'll either take a very tiny payout and then grow a little bit more and kind of compound it based off of balance versus the reverse, which is what I've been doing, which is, 500, $1,000 a day on most of those accounts. I get one payout, two payouts maybe, and then now I'm just at this point where I don't have the same buffer. I'm not hitting the days and something happens. One thing happens and the account is gone. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But this is just something to remind you. We don't need to make a bajillion. This times, 10 accounts is $200,000 a year, and that's not perfection. I'm not speaking of perfection at all. So it's a lot of money. It's not bad at all. Not at all. But
That was
Marcus,
on the live accounts too. I was looking at it. So that was somebody who they went into live, and then that's where those payments came out of.
yeah, I was gonna say it has to be because Take Profit Trader doesn't pay that much without it being live. It has to be live, to my
Right,
knowledge.
that's correct. Yeah, you said that it's 10K, right? Is the
Yeah.
max allocation they'll give you? Well,
Um,
max payout.
it's so you can only make up to 10K a day. It's 10K payouts, 20K in a day, depending on the account size. There's a couple of criteria, guys. So, and every one of these firms is a little different, but you can't make more than 10,000 in a day, or they're going to bump you up to the Pro Plus. Um, Past 20K, they bump you up to live, but they also look at some more things before they bump you up to live. So, and again, you have to maintain the account a little longer, I think is a big thing. A big thing. But I love Take Profit Trader. Low and slow. Take a payout as soon as you can. Just maybe don't take the entire buffer. Make sure you have enough of a buffer because I've done that too. I took a payout. I was like, what happened to my account? Oops, there you go. There it's gone. I didn't know that was when I first got started. So
When you go live, like, is there a certain amount that they require that you leave in there? Is it just the buffer amount at minimum? I think
no,
that's what it is, or no?
when they transfer you from Pro to Pro Plus, and I haven't been moved to live on Take Profit Trader, but when they transfer you to Pro Plus, they keep the 5,000. So that buffer that you've technically earned, there's a caveat to all of these firms. There's a couple of little gray areas that no one's talking about, but they keep that 5,000. So when you blow, or if you blow it up, you don't get that 5,000 back. It's like whatever that buffer was, but and it bases off of it was $50,000 account, $25,000 account, etc. But you transfer to Pro Plus with the buffer, and then if something happens, they have kept that buffer because you're not going to get a payout on that. They use that to start the Pro Plus.
Gotcha, gotcha. And I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I believe I've understand looking at the I guess the metrics on that Pro Plus is that after a certain time period, you'll eventually become eligible to withdraw the whole amount if you wanted to. Like I think after like consecutive days of it being in a live account and taking payouts.
Yeah, so most of the firms have something like that, like 30 days or 60 days. All of them take profit trader, funded next, funded ticks. It just depends, but take profit trader, you can technically take out all of it, but that buffer once you go to, so all of it technically, or all of it except for the 5,000 or whatever you started the account with based off of your account size. In Pro Plus, you can do the same thing, technically speaking, but if you do that, you're closing the account. So take profit trader, you have access to 100% of those funds up front with the exception of what you were moved over with on the buffer.
Right, right,
Well,
right.
it's not 100%, it's 90%, but you guys get it. It's 90% is how much you can withdraw, but if you withdraw everything, remember they're keeping the 5 grand, assuming it was a 50 grand account. They keep that, it's theirs. And you've now closed your account because you have no more trading room. So
So it only makes sense, of course, if you're eventually gonna say, "Hey, I'm not trading through the prop anymore. I'm just gonna take everything, take my cut, and move it to live, my own personal life."
yeah. Just keep, honestly, I started also doing that with my other accounts. I was like, if I'm gonna buy these prop firms, I need to start funding me. And that's what I started doing was when I bought a prop firm, I started piling more money into some of my accounts and was okay, let's do this. Let's play a little bit differently. Because that money I can keep and I can compound fairly well, like AMP even. I don't take a lot of trades. It's usually like 3 to 5 a week. It's not a whole bunch. And no, I'm not swing trading still, but it's simple. I'll catch a big move. Sometimes I'll get, the 3 to 1 and the 4 to 1. Most of the time I'm getting, 1.5 to 1, 2 to 1. And then that's it. So I took on the day. And you can do that a lot. And I think I had it set to, I increased the risk. I think it's set to 6% risk is somewhere on here, but it's frozen. I will say though, I have to restart it all the time. But if you're in the cells, you're doing amazing. I am not in the cells and I took 2 losses. So that's fantastic. But that's all I've got for you guys on the day. I have a meeting coming up at 11 o'clock. Thank you again to all the veterans for all that you have done to serve our country, your uncles, your fathers, your sisters, your brothers, everybody in between. It is a crazy world out there. So from all ages to all around the world, happy Veterans Day. And I will be back on tomorrow. Please be wary. We don't know what the shakeup of the government reopening is going to do, if it does anything. So it's up in the air whether it's going to have an impact. But remember, the big money's not coming in right now. Isn't there big news tomorrow? Is it CPI or what is the big news tomorrow?
Well, Scott was saying about that bill passing, but I don't, as far as regular news, not sure. And I think Trump speaks at 10. I don't know. He has some sort of veterans, I don't know, parade or something. Said something Trump's veterans something. I don't know.
I don't know. He
Oh.
speaks 20 hours a day.
Yeah, it kind of does. I thought there was
Um,
tomorrow. No news.
Let me check real quick.
I'm looking too. Pending news 11:30. Federal interest rate decision is tomorrow. No, what am I doing? I'm so smart. Try that again. A lot of speeches tomorrow. Nope, we don't have anything.
Yeah, on the top step news, they have they put the it in red news for the House vote at 1500 hours. So is that when's that?
3.
So that's 3. Yeah. Thank you, Barbara.
We don't even have that on this.
What that's after market close, so they don't vote to the market closes. Or is it to the market closes just about at close time.
Okay.
BOC minutes they have BOC as a red folder at 130. So
We'll see. All right, guys, I took 2 losses. I'm not in the mood to kind of go back in and take more. The hourly candle actually looks good now. So that's what we wanted to see. 15 minutes, still very wicky on every one of these bearish candles forming. Hourly candle officially looks pretty darn good. Not bad at all. And we wanted to see how this closed. So maybe we don't get the pullback up. We'll see. We have formed another imbalance here. Big targets for this sell, not saying when or if, but it's still going to be in this area, that 25,250s. So that's a lot of points, 250 points to the downside. And then, of course, the low from yesterday at the 450s. So those are the targets. I think there's a lot of room. That's 100 points straight to the 450s. And that's it. I will probably take one more trade at some point today. We'll see. Otherwise, I'm red on one account and I don't have any other trades on the day. So that is all I got for you guys. But we will be back live again tomorrow. Again, thank you to everybody who's running the automation. You guys are doing the dang thing. We are about done with a label of test. I should have the next version in my hand. I will put the caveat in that we're not focusing a lot on those trailing stops just because I don't think it's communicating well on the 3-part service. So we're not focusing as much on fixing those or implementing the different versions of it we have on TradingView because I don't think it's as viable, or at least not right now. We've decided to table it, finish up some things, release some other versions, and spoiler alert, we actually have 2. I mean, we had to touch it up. We have the IOU automated, and we have a couple of things technically automated because we built it right. So we built it long, but we built it right. So we should be able to transfer it to a lot of different strategies as well. So very exciting there, because if you're using the daily loss limits and daily targets, you got a system that just prints money. Will it be perfect? No. Will there be glitches? Yes. But it's crazy to see what's possible. So that's all I've got. As always, check out the website. If you're finding this helpful, like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend, do all the things that make us grow, because we have done it. We've showed up for lots of years, and it's time to get in front of all the people that we can maybe hopefully go change some lives. So happy Tuesday, happy Veterans Day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thanks,
Marika,
guys.
Marika, I sent you a message if you can respond to me in Discord.
Yes, I responded to you.
Oh, you did? Okay, thanks. Okay, bye.
You might have to approve it, Miss Barbara. Like you have to approve like her as a friend.
Okay.